It is very awesome to be here and be able to do this. So, we are starting with Town of Dusk. Here we go. I don't know why. Autumn of 1991. Your name is Kubashi Ryota. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. And you are a sophomore at Tokyo Institute of Technology, majoring in information science, computer science in order to complete the final thesis for your elective course. You go to Silent Mountain area for research. Silent Mountain area has been in a state of closure for more than 40 years, preventing anyone from entering due to an agreement signed by the Japanese government and the residents around Silent Mountain area before the war. There are all sorts of strange rumors, legends about the reasons for the closure of Silent Mountain area. And today, when the agreement expires, Silent Mountain area begins to open to the outside world. And just today, when the agreement expires, Silent Mountain area begins to open to the outside world. You and your group of 5 people rested in a nearby hotel last night and left from South Valley Entrance this morning at 8 a.m. Back. I missed that. Alright. This classmate, I've never seen you before in class. Would you like to introduce yourself? Hello everyone, my name is Fukai Hideko, majoring in intelligence. Yeah, my pronunciation is going to be very off with these names. I am Matsumura's roommate. He was just joking with me. He usually helps me sign in for class. Really fine. My phone. These are all guys. I only have like one guy voice. Hello. I am a doctor student of Professor Avu, the assistant of the course Lifeng. Of this course, Lifeng. Sorry for my pronunciation. But you don't need to be nervous. This course is not required of attendance. Hideko looked at Kentaro with a questioning expression. Probably because Kentaro lied to him, said he would need help. And he would help him sign in. He also got a lot of snacks for free. This is Kobayashi-sen, an auditing student. Nice to meet you too, Grimmy. And this is Aoki-san. Aoki Hitomi nods silently with a smile. Toki Hitomi, the girl you've been dreaming about with the natural beauty and bright eyes full of laughter. You registered this unpopular course mostly for the opportunity to have more contact with her. The valley is filled with a fresh scent, and the morning sunlight shines through the mountains and onto the river surface. The river flows, slowly making a soft gurgling sound. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. When you reach the foot of the mountains and look up, you see a dense forest with morning mist, making it seem like the forest has no end. After taking a break and looking at the map, you set off toward the mountains. You hear the sound of shuffling from deep inside the forest and see the leaves being blown up in the distance. You realize that there must be a small animal passing by. That's quite a small animal. You decide to follow the sound. And soon you see a wild fox laying on the ground, its neck bleeding and staining the nearby gray fur into the deep red. Ooh. Oh. Yay! Excitement! Rage! Why you killed a foxy? We all like the foxy. You walk over and slowly squat down to take a closer look. The width of the wound is very narrow, not like the bite of a predator, but rather like the bite of another fox. You know that when wild foxes fight, they usually only taste each other and don't attack with their teeth. At this time, you notice the wound on the neck of the wild fox is intermittently producing purple foam, and the bright red eyes staring up at you emotionlessly as if they are staring at you. In addition to the shock, you discuss and think that the purple foam is the secretion of a bacteria infecting the wound. You didn't expect to encounter something strange from the beginning, and there was a moment when you wanted to go home. That would be the smart thing. The atmosphere naturally became tense, and there was a sound of shuffling from deep in the forest again, making the atmosphere even more weird. Following the map and compass, you're about to head to a stream. About an hour later, you arrive at the relatively empty piece of land. I can't remember his voice. I'll go take a break. I've been holding it in for half a day. Well then, I want to accompany you. The weather... She says bright and cheerful. Let me see if I can do this. The weather... The... the weather... The weather, it seems like it's getting... Tomiyako says... A-okay. Says looking up the sky. Yeah, it's supposed to be clear according to the forecast. It's getting dark already. If it rains, we should head back. It's too risky to keep going in this weather. What do you think, everyone? I want to continue. I forgot to read that. If Fuka? I'm gonna learn how to pronounce these names if it is the last thing I do. Fuku? If it rains later, do you want to return the same way or continue climbing the mountain? So we're continuing to climb. Don't talk about this first. Can you guess what I found? Human footprints. Oh my god, it's scary! A wild man. Footprints. There, there are footprints. Where do wild men get shoes? And the prints are and the prints are very fresh. So it's not that long ago. The Silent Mountain area is not open to 8 o'clock today. This means that someone has climbed the mountain before us and entered the mountain area without permission. I thought that the weather, it might be the group of people we met at the hotel last night who were preparing to leave from East Valley entrance. But after thinking about it, it's unlikely. Everyone looked at Li Feng, signaling him to continue. Because there's simply no time. 8 o'clock from East Valley, no rest on the way. It will take 4 to 5 hours to get here at the earliest. So I guess it's possible that other people have violated and entered here a few hours earlier, but it's unknown whether. Is it the staff or other people? You take a deep breath. Based on the footprints, the person who entered here earlier is not far from you. Perhaps near me, or even somewhere in the forest observing you. If he is harboring malicious intent, then you will be in great danger. In the wild, a stranger can be much more dangerous than a ferocious animal. I love how they put that in here. It's kind of like the dynamic of the bear versus man or man versus bear. Which one is more deadly? I think it depends on the situation. You are preparing to head towards a small creek. Everyone is on edge with nerves tightly wound. The slightest rustle of the grass and shivers down your spine. Unfortunately, the rain began to fall from the sky, and the ground gradually became wet and slippery, which undoubtedly added a variable to the journey. About half an hour later, you saw a log cabin suddenly appearing there in a desolate mountain forest. Around the grass and trees, a piece of quiet. The roof of the tile house is covered with moss, and the door of the log cabin is made of thick wood. Everyone stops, and Li Feng makes a gesture to indicate that they should not make any noise. Then he slows down to avoid making any noise. So there's a couple things about writing that I was taught. Like, we have noise here. So we need to have the second time you have any sort of thing that would distract, it would be like, if you have noise, then you have noise. Then one of the noises is a distraction because you already have the first noise. So then one of them would have to be changed to sound. I have to learn this the hard way because I make this mistake a lot. He walks around the log cabin and carefully observes it. At the same time, the rain in the forest is visibly getting bigger and bigger, and the finer rain gradually becomes dense like countless small needles hitting the leaves and making a crisp sound. The forest is filled with a light and humid atmosphere. The ground is soaked, and the grass and trees are gradually wetted by the rain. I want to try to give him a distinct voice. I don't know if I can do it, because like I said, I only have one guy voice. Most of these characters are guys. The footprints we encountered before may be related to this log cabin. There are mountain people living in it. It is very likely an addition you see here. Li Feng pointed to the pile of charcoal in front of the log cabin. Black ashes and charcoal forming an irregular pile. If you smell it carefully, you may be able to smell faint smoke. The existence of ashes indicates that these woods were burned recently, at least within a few days, and the user is most likely the owner of this log cabin. Maybe we could try and visit the owner of the log cabin. Don't worry, after all, we are many.
But you still can be slowly picked off, though.
After saying that, Kintaro looked at everyone to consult their opinions. Everyone nodded to indicate their agreement. If we encountered a thunderstorm later, and the tents can't bear it, we can take shelter in the log cabins as an alternative. We can use food as an exchange. Suddenly you seem to feel a gaze from deep in the forest and your body can't help but tremble. I want to switch back to one of my other avatars. I'm not feeling this one. It's very pretty. I think, but it's not who I am. It's gonna be a very quick switch. It's like magic. Like this one. This one's good. You know what? I think I want to go. I am now a crow. Suddenly you seem to feel the gaze from the depths of the forest, and your body can't help but tremble. Are you okay? Aoki Hitomi asked concerned. Well, I'm fine. I suddenly felt cold for some reason just now, but I'm fine now. You said with a smile and a jump. Hitomi's greetings made a warm current spread all over your body. Then he walked to the door of the cabin. Leafing knocked on the door and waited for a response from the inside of the cabin. Kintaro, who was standing next to the wooden wall, tried to see the situation inside the cabin through the gaps between the round logs. The room is empty with a pot, an axe, here, some wood and some animal skins, and meat lying around in disorder. Suddenly, an eye appears in front of Kintaro, taking up his entire field of vision and staring at him. Ah! Screaming in terror, Kintaro staggers backwards and falls into the ground with a thud, his face pale and his eyes empty. As you move forward to help him up, the door to the cabin slowly opens from the inside, with a creak startling you. A middle-aged man wearing a mask and sunglasses with a black backpack that gloves appears in the doorway. He is wearing a stained gray coat and new but dirty sneakers. He looks at you expressionlessly. Hello, we are travelers on the mountain. And if the rain gets worse, can we take shelter in your cabin? We can offer food in return. He does not respond. He simply pointed to his own ears, seemingly indicated that he was deaf. You gesture to the middle man to express your intention. He seems to understand and he smiles and gestures. Gestures? That is such a funny word. Gestures for you to come in out of the rain. You sigh in relief and thank him as you enter the cabin. It's much more comfortable to stay inside the cabin on a rainy day. But soon you notice something strange about the layout of the cabin. There are no tables or chairs or anything that serves the same purpose. Not only that, but the cabinets and other furnitures are also conspicuously absent.
There are only some things that are necessary for survival in the wild, like a pot and some animal skins. You think that all the objects in this room are at least 30 years old in terms of their craftsmanship or materials. So you have enough foresight to say that. But rather than calling it a room, it would be more accurately to call it a shelter, as if there was no need for anything beyond food, clothing, and shelter. But strangely, even so, there are stacks of paper in the corner of the room, filled with writing that are out of place with
That sounds like a writer.
the rest of the room. At this point, the middle-aged man makes a... How do you pronounce gesture? Gesture? Gesture. Gesture. I forgot. You're not listening to me. Uh, 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 gesture. At this point, the middle-aged man makes a gesture and walks out of the cabin by himself. You all look at each other, not knowing where to begin.
This room.
Continue speaking.
This room is strange, and all the items have a sense of age to them. That man, the entire outfit, looks like something you've seen in a modern town. So that person looks strange. They're all covered up tightly. Despite acting as if he couldn't hear anything, he didn't even know sign language. After he knocked on the door, he even peeked at us through the crack in the wall. Yeah, I think that person is also. Yeah. I think that person is suspicious. We die!
Then you saw a few wisps of black smoke drifting in from the doorway, gradually becoming thick smoke. At the same time, fire appeared in the doorway. The cabin was on fire! Hideko rushed up to open the door. The moment he opened the door, you were frozen in place. The middle-aged man was standing in the doorway, glaring at you fiercely.
It was him who started the fire.
He looked at you coldly, holding two steel axes in his hands. His pupils were narrow, but deep, and his eyes were filled with a murderous look. As soon as the door was open, the middle-aged man swung one of the axes at Hideko, at Fuku. I need to remember how to pronounce. He couldn't dodge in time, and the axe heavily chopped into his right arm. Just as the man was about to charge it, Hideko, a little fiend, pulled out his hiking stick, and the movement was like a sword being drawn from its sheath. Swing! Swing, bada bada! Swing! The head and the tail of the hiking stick wrapped in the other, gradually separated, revealing a metal section. In between, that was the sword blade emitting a cold light. In other words, this hiking stick was actually a sword with a scabbard. And then you saw a flash of sword light. The man's throat was instantly cut, and he clenched his throat with both hands, blood squirting from his mouth, unable to believe what was happening.
Like, dude, I'm gonna go murder, but I don't expect to be murdered myself. Okay.
All of his strength was drained in an instant, and he collapsed to the ground until he stopped breathing. You can believe that the man was dead. I can. His throat was cut. Since the fire was still spreading, you couldn't afford to delay and ran out of the cabin.
Wait, are we running through the fire? That is my question. Is there only one entrance and exit to this cabin?
The nerves that were stretched to the limit relaxed, and you had escaped from death, collapsed to the ground, and breathed a sigh of relief.
Wow, you're amazing.
Hideko held his right arm with his left hand and said to Li Fang. Li Fang ignored him and checked the man's body without changing his face to see if he was really dead, and then took some measures to protect the scene to prepare for this police investigation. Hitomi walked up to ask Hide. We're just gonna call him Hide. We're just gonna call him Hide, because my pronunciation is off. Fuhide. Fuhaiku. About his injury, and then Hitomi took a bandage and iodine from
They are so prepared.
High backpack and changed bandages to the wound. After the bleeding stopped, he then used drinking water to clean and disinfect the wound, and then bandaged it with bandages and cloth. Throughout the process, Hyde kept crying out. Kentaro found a removable shovel in the man's backpack. The shovel head was wet with mud, which showed that the shovel has been recently used. Combined with the fact that the man was also carrying an axe.
Oh no, did he murder someone?
Kentaro speculates the man killed and discarded the body many years ago. Since in the forbidden area of the Silent Mountain was an ideal place to do so, he enters the area now that is about to be opened to the public in order to complete the dismemberment and burial? But what actually happened remains unknown. Then you find a flat piece of land, set up a frame, covered it with cloth and roped, and erected a tent. You rested inside the tent waiting for the rain to stop. When you look into the wooden hut, it was already engulfed in flames. After barely escaping with your life, everyone is exhausted and sat on their backpacks. Perhaps it was too tiring even to talk. Everyone was silent, taking a break, eyes closed, taking in a moment of brief peace. What if they only open the mountain? I just thought about this. What if they only say it's open and then only send like college kids there to like die? What if it's like a sacrificial government had agreed to? That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong. I've never read this before. I see, like, when you read other people's work, you can see where you have your own errors, and I see a lot of my errors in this. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to being vampire chick. Like this. This is very charming, no? I think I am. Perhaps it's too tiring. Alright. Outside, the sound of rain gradually grew quiet. Outside, the sight of rain gradually quieter, until it became one with a background noise. You opened the tent flap and stuck your head out to feel the size of the raindrops. They were intermittent, coming from above, the water left behind on branches and leaves after the rain. You realized that the rain had stopped. Immediately, you prepared to head for the stream you have decided to go to earlier. Soon you saw the stream in the distance flowing down from the mountain peak on the other side, but to get there you would need to cross a ridge. Hyde looked at the details in the distance through a telescope.
Where did they get the telescope?
they had it. Okay. Muttering to himself. So this is part of their equipment, I guess, that they brought with them. I guess they're surveying the mountain. Meanwhile, you were rummaging through your backpack for the camera.
Why are there forks in the road up ahead? A three-way fork only shows one road.
Shouldn't you be going to the hospital? Hyde looks down the road ahead through his binoculars, somewhat perplexed.
Yeah, it is a bit strange. The mountain peak in the distance should be in a southeast direction, but it's now in the northeast.
I am confused here, but I think you're supposed to be.
So we should be in this location on the map.
Li Feng points to the map.
This map was drawn over 40 years ago. This location on the map is blank. That should explain it.
You have a vague feeling you're lost. The current location and the map location, you think you're not.
But this road leads to the ridge up ahead. What's with the up ahead, that white patch? It doesn't look like stone.
It's a sacrificial stone.
Fairly. Hyde describes the scene he sees through his binoculars.
Let me take a look.
Kentora takes the binoculars from Hyde.
I can't see clearly either. Let's go take a look.
You really gonna do this? Like I have to keep you alive? And there's 3 forks in the road, so you all are probably gonna split off to groups of 2. In groups of 2! Or maybe it'll be 1, 3, 1, 2, I don't know. Somebody's gonna get left out. Something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Like you should keep in character. I should always be in character. I don't know. I don't know.
Like I don't know. As you get closer and you see the ground in front of the fork more clearly, the hair-raising scene makes you stop in your tracks. The field of scattered bones, and the most prominent among them are human skulls? Skulls! The black... Let me do this more professionally.
The black empty sockets of their eyes seem to swallow up all the light, like the coming of death. The bones look like they've been lying on the ground for a long time, because they're weather-beaten and rotting.
Is there still flesh on these bones?
They're dry, fragile, and incomplete. You notice a small wooden plaque a short distance away. There are no words on it, but when you walk to the other side of the plaque, you see the word danger written there. That makes you subconsciously look around for potential hazards. This wooden sign is facing the wrong way. How can it be wrong? If the sign is trying to tell us that there's danger ahead, then the sign with the word danger should be facing us. Unless the sign is trying to tell us that the danger is. The danger is in the direction we came from. That's what I think. But the murderer we ran into was just a coincidence. This has nothing to do with the sign. Could it be that the wooden cabin? Could that be it? I have a guess, but it's kind of far-fetched. The sign was put up by the owner of the cabin as a warning to the people on the other side of the crossroads to not approach the cabin. It's kind of a self-defense measure. That means there are people on the other side of the crossroads. And these bones are used to intimidate them. So do we keep going forward? Kentaro nods, hide, and Hitomi follow suit. And in the end, you all agree to continue the journey? But my little dumplings, do you not like, do you not have, oh my dear, my poor dear, as much as I need this story to continue, do none of you have survival mechanisms? Like, I know I can survive, whatever this is. But you, my dears, I have to try and keep you alive. I don't know if I'm that capable. Is anyone that capable of keeping you alive? You should, like, be going the other way. Well, maybe not back to where you came from. We already entered the area. So it's like, no matter where you go, you're gonna be in danger. You're danger dumplings. You are danger dumplings. That's what you are. You are gonna be danger dumplings. Danger dumplings. You are danger dumplings. I'm genuinely sad by the lack of survival instinct. But at the same time, I think this would be me. I think I wouldn't have any survival instincts like this. I would be doomed like these people are. And then they have me trying to keep them alive. This is this intense story. Real intense. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. Alright. So, I guess I should get back to reading. I really do. I I'm so sad. I can keep people alive. I'm sure I have that capability. I think. I can keep them alive. Just don't let there be any puzzles. I don't have that much brain power. I mean, I do, but not for that stuff. Oh, they're gonna die. They're gonna die. It's gonna be my fault. I'm not, like, are we not killing you? Like, don't kill me? Like, I don't know. Like, does accidentally leading someone to their death count? Oh, I don't want
to choose. More normal or more desolate? We want desolate. That is not a road. That is a river. As you walk, you're surrounded by dense trees and bushes. The sunlight filters through the leaves, creating a dappled light. Oh, that's a good word. I've never heard of dappled. There are birds singing and insects chirping. Chirping, not dripping, chirping. The air, the fresh air is filled with the scent of flowers. It is peaceful and quiet, a far cry from the noise of the town or the fire. You feel refreshed and invigorated, enjoying the peace of nature. Before long, you reach your destination, the stream. As you get closer, you see the clear water, which is a light brown color. There are fish jumping out of the water and splashing around. The air is fresh, and the trees on either side of the stream are tall and lush. The branches sway in the breeze, accompanied by the sound of flowing water. It's a beautiful scene. There are many stone colors in the stream. Some are smooth, while others are rough and jagged. The water flows around them, making a crisp sound. There's some small fish in the stream. They swim freely as if they are playing. Occasionally, some water plants will float by with the current, and the little fish will swim around them. In order to complete the final paper, you are recording the animals and plants and around the water and taking pictures. 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 Pictures for keepsakes. At this time, it began to rain lightly in the sky. Scusi, and it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you realized that you needed to find a flat place to set up a tent and be prepared for the rain and the over. Are they staying by a stream? Are they staying by a stream? It's gonna rain.
Why?
Like,
Why?
like why? Are they standing at you find a clearing? But how close are you to the water? How close? This is not a joke. How close are you to the water? To the water! Don't you dare get flooded! If you get flooded. We don't need flooding. Don't get flooded. No flood intent. Nice to meet you too, Grimry. But still! No! There's a limit! There is a limit! Please tell me you have some survival instinct. More than what I do. Please. That's all I ask. Please. I will genuinely be very, very, very upset. Anyway, I like this. Kind of like cool. But I probably shouldn't be showing this. But yes. This survival. Have survival. Survival. You probably have survival. Okay. The rain is not heavy now, and Hyde and Lee are ready to continue along the stream, and Kentaro and Hitomi are staying to set up the tent. Hyde and Heiko gave the walkie-talkie to Kentaro to keep communication between the two teams. You chose to fight. To fight? To follow. Hyde and Lee found what is called Lee. Lie. The fang upstream, two along the stream. Soon you see a cave upstream of the stream. The stream is flowing slowly out of the cave. The entrance looks very narrow, as if it can only accommodate one person. The rain is getting heavy and heavier. You decide to go into the cave, one by one, to take shelter from the rain, and tell Kintaro and Hitomi through the walkie-talkie. The light in the cave is darker and darker. Only a
I am not mad. I am not mad.
I am not mad. I am not upset. I am not mad.
Only a weak light comes through the entrance, but as you become accustomed to the darkness, the scene in front of you gradually appears. There are some strange cellulites and stalagmite hanging on the cave wall. They shimmer with mysterious light under the weak light. There's a moist and fresh smell in the cave. Some small grasses extend from the cave wall next to it, as if they're growing out of the cave wall. And when you come to, you notice that the water level in the stream next to you is...
You see why I had an issue?
At a visible rate. You need to get out of this narrow cave.
You made it out. But where's the drama? I wanted to lead them out of the cave. I don't know if I can do it, but I wanted to. I feel robbed. I feel kind of cheated.
We continue now.
No, the rain. It's coming down harder. Maybe we should head back.
They fang and hide, nod, and you all start the way back you came. The muddy path is slippery, and you have a hard time making your way down the mountain. The rain is coming down harder and harder, and in the distance you can see a flash flood heading right. I meant drama, but I didn't mean that much. I didn't. I knew. Well, okay. So out of the frying pan and into the oven. And again, how close are they to the water? How close?
see me? You can't see my face. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that.
There we go. Uh, okay. I. Well, we're gonna get through this. It was supposed to have some. It's. Uh, uh, the rain is coming down harder and harder. In the distance, you can see a flash flood heading your way. But compared to the danger you just narrowly avoided,
How is a flash flood nothing?
after returning to Tokyo, everything was as usual. You continued your calm university life at the Institute of Technology with classes and club activities. Day after day, it seemed like your life would continue like this forever. Did we die? Really? 3 days later, a sudden fire swept through. What? What? Tokyo. And your life reached its end. Bad end. Huh. So Kentaro, we gotta interpret his. Delaying time for the murderer to suspect you. The files in the wooden house? Ooh! 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 This! I love things like this! This is gonna be awesome! This is gonna be awesome! Like, I really do like. Ooh. So, how is he so. I guess this is showing what you're supposed to be doing. So, I. Like. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to be like that. So. Oh my. So, on the next stream, we're gonna pick up here. We are saving. We are gonna save, and it's gonna be this one. We like I want to continue to play, but I think I have to schedule another stream. Like this, like I read something about this. I read something about this, and I'm literally I am literally game for this now. I am so game for this that it's not funny. But we have like 5 minutes to the stream. So like I don't know if I want to continue. I can schedule another stream, I think. Because I think I can only stream for an hour. This is fun. This has been really fun, but a couple of moments made me stop and think. and I had a few small troubles with names, small troubles in words. My pronunciation is off. It it's I I have weird pronunciations. I just do. And it's been a pleasure to be able to do this. I'm definitely doing this again, but we are not going to be choosing the same thing. I didn't know I was supposed to look around. I didn't know there was an option to look around the cabin. There was an option, I would have took it. I mean, I guess I looked. I'm not for sure. But that was definitely feeling like narrowly escaping a killer, being lit on fire almost, running into skeletons. Uh, I am just very appreciative of the art in this too. I like the characters. I think I'm going to develop better voices as I go along, but I don't really have any voice training. I just kind of like do this for fun. And I have different voices for women, but not for men. My men voices are all the same. I can do an old man's voice. I think we'll give Leafing an old man's voice. It. We're gonna end the stream here. It was it was very fun. I got to change my avatar. I like changing my avatar during stream. This is supposed to be my serious model. Um, as I go along, I'm going to collect or get better models, but I'm always gonna have multiple because my character's gonna be the type that transforms. I like the idea of transformations, and I like how this story is going along and it becomes something else. It's been a very pleasant experience. I hope to see you all. Thank you. We are ending soon. I didn't want to play the music because I didn't know if I should probably play it, but I didn't know if I didn't know the live thing would be in my face. We are gonna go ahead and cut it short here, and we're gonna end stream. End.